Love it. The passion in it is so good. Oh, beautiful. Love it. Incredible. This video is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. I'll be talking about them more later in the video. Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucen. I'm a singer-songwriter. And today I'm going to be reacting to Gracie Abrams' new album, The Secret of Us. Let's go. Right. Hello, peeps. I don't know anything about Gracie Abrams. She was completely new to me. I saw that she was supporting Taylor and did a duet with Taylor, and it was one of the secret songs. And she's been getting loads of buzz, and I thought, oh, actually, she seems like the kind of artist that I think I'd be into by the kind of, I think it's like acoustic-y vibes, right? I don't know. But yeah, I don't really know anything. But yeah, I'm excited to dig in. It's been such a crazy year for like new releases, as we all know. I think it's slowing down a little bit. So like, this is me like trying to catch up a little bit on some of the albums that fell through the cracks amongst like, you know, Brat and Torture Poets Department and Cowboy Carter and everything. So if there are any albums that you would like me to react to, make sure to leave comments, because at this point, I'm like, oh, I don't actually know what I'm going to be doing next for the first time this year. So yeah, make sure to let me know in the comments. Yeah, also make sure to leave your top 5 from the album in the comments. That's another thing that people love doing as well on this channel. If you're new, then make sure to subscribe and check out all my other reactions. I've done obviously all the Taylor ones. I did do a Phoebe Bridgers one back in the day. Maybe I should do more Phoebe Bridgers. I don't know. And if you're new around these parts, I actually make my own music. I'm putting stuff out as we speak. The final song from my EP, which is like a story, it goes from start to finish, will be coming out, and it's sad and acoustic. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So make sure to check out my music via the link. I also do a podcast. It's called Criminally Underrated, where we talk about underrated music. The underrated songs from your favorite artists is the vibe. Season 2 will be starting soon, so make sure to check that out. And also, if you want to support me even further, you can do on Patreon, where you get access to all my episodes without any edits in any of it. So you can listen to the full song as I listen. But yeah, if you want updates on everything, make sure to follow me at Lucen_music, all the updates on everything I'm doing. My journey with mental health has been a long one. As I've shared with you on the channel before, I was bullied from a young age for my sexuality and for my emotional sensitivity. So I carried a lot of shame into my 20s, believing that my vulnerability and my often raw connection to my emotions was something not to be proud of. It was also difficult to explain to my family, who came from a different generation, and I feared that they had more traditional views when it came to masculinity. Now, through this channel, I understand that my emotional vulnerability is a strength, and I've been able to connect with you and the hundreds of thousands all over the world. I didn't have access to a therapist, but if I had, I think that this would have really helped me process these feelings and saved me a lot of heartache in the long run. The ability to share your feelings truthfully without fear of judgment is an important part of your mental health. I'm happy to have a paid partnership with BetterHelp, because I truly believe that understanding your own needs and looking after your mental health should be a priority, especially for sensitive people like me. BetterHelp connects you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. You'll be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours, so BetterHelp is a convenient way to access therapy from home. Use my unique link in the description below, or use my channel name, Lucent Reacts, when signing up to get a special discount on your first month. Cool. So this is The Secret of Us. The first song is called Felt Good About You. Let's go. Oh, fun. I like the kind of like tremolo, shimmery effect.
I felt good about you till I didn't, about you.
Fun. She's got that very forward, very compressed vocal.
Picture perfect like you planned it.
It's all very breathy and very like, you can hear every breath and every lyric. It's like
black and blue. Felt hard, then I lost your interest.
Oh.
Bad nights, new girls, misgivings. You got me where.
Nice. I love the building up of this rhythm.
Never meant to listen, not until I found a reason.
Yeah, the way that it, you know, the emotions can turn on a dime when it comes to a person, because they reveal more of truth about themselves to you, you know. I love the depth in the production, it's nice. And it's like a slow build, it's fun.
Felt good about you till I didn't. You felt nice for a bad decision.
I felt nice for a bad decision.
There were nights I skipped out sleeping. I realized I felt fuller without you.
Felt good about you till I didn't. I really enjoyed the texture and the production in that, like it was a bit of a fake out. It was like a mixture of like this intensity and pace, rhythmic stuff, but like the vibe was still really intimate and laid back, but the rhythm gave it this like dynamic build like throughout. So by the end, it actually felt kind of insistent, you know, it was a bit more like anxious. That low kind of like bass drum thing kind of coming through, but having so much depth to it really was just like satisfying to listen to. Her voice is kind of nice, very intimate, nice. It's very intimate and very like close up. It's got that kind of breathy style, like using particular microphones and stuff. So you can hear every single lyric, which is very important, obviously, for an artist who cares about their lyrics. I mean, I must say that like the vocal production is that this very flat kind of right in your face kind of production, which is very popular at the moment. It works really well to listen to on a phone, basically. It's not necessarily my favorite style of vocal production, but yeah, we'll see how things pan out. Ultimately, a very relatable lyric. You know, I felt good about you until I didn't. The truth, if somebody can reveal, you know, darker things about them and make you feel like you've been making a mistake the whole time, but when you were doing it, it felt right, you know. I felt good about you till I didn't. Cross lines, past lives, clear vision. Surefire train wreck, emission. It's like an emission, her own emission of like, obviously this was all gonna be a train wreck. Quite interesting like way to phrase it. Got what you demanded, picture perfect like you planned it. Can't believe the way we landed falling through. Held my breath for your reaction like the first time that we happened. We were fighting more than laughing, black and blue. So really kind of painting this picture of this like toxic relationship that she really fell for. It took all of me to walk away and choose. You got me thinking, future planning for no reason. The nights I skipped out sleeping because of you. Yeah, really like nicely and succinctly telling the story of like this like toxic relationship that you believe is going to be more because of like an innocence and naivety, which I think is something that we've all gone through, you know? Yeah, almost like falling for the fantasy of it. But she seems to have been woken up by something. Let's go on to the next one. This is Risk. Ooh. Nicely played guitar. I like that. I like how it's produced.
Know you bought a house, but you had to move out and down. You can just talk and I'll stare at your mouth.
Yeah, loving the Risk.
With the light on, and I feel like I could die.
I like that doubling effect.
God, I'm actually invested. Watch this be the wrong thing. Classic. Heard the risk is drowning, but I'm gonna take it.
If the risk is drowning, I'm gonna take it.
Isn't it fun?
Nice.
Knowing damn well.
I love the kind of pace of the melody and everything. It's kind of speaky, intimate speaky, breathy speaky. It's nice. It is nice.
In the middle of the night, and you're not here. God, I'm actually invested.
Sense of like falling for the fantasy, isn't there? You know.
I'm gonna bend till I break it. Yeah, you're the risk. I'm gonna take it.
Nice. I love that. You're the risk I'm gonna take. Yeah. Oh, love it. The passion in it is so good.
Think I really want this. I'm not even kidding. No.
She knows, doesn't she? She knows it's not a good idea. Her vocal performance in this is really like incensed. I really enjoy that a bit of it, you know. She's evoking so much through her vocal. It's almost like breathless, you know, like, ugh. Yeah, nice. Really nicely written song, like really hooky, catchy, really nice melodies and stuff. I love the acoustic guitar, the way that those are built up. The guitars create that sense of excitement that comes from taking a risk, you know. It's like an adrenaline kind of feeling. And I love the way the melody kind of builds and like swells, and she's got so much kind of like this kind of fervent energy in it, and the way that all the doubles and stuff like all layer up on top of it to kind of like really create this swelling of energy within the vocal. It's like really nicely done, like, and really tightly produced. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. Look at me now, said I wouldn't do it, but I hunted you down. No, you had a girl, but it didn't work out. No, you bought a house and you had to move out, and I'm not proud. I guess I'm just scared of you shooting it down. You can just talk, I'll stare at your mouth. You could be bad, but I want to find out. It's almost like maybe she's like befriended this person, knowing that their relationship has broken down, ready to pounce, you know? But then she's not actually met this person. It's almost like creating this entire fantasy within your head. Maybe something that she's seen online, like on social media. She's seen like the kind of gossip surrounding like maybe a friend of a friend or something. And she's like, fantasizing so much about this. I was talking to a friend about like the idea of like falling for a fantasy romantically last night actually, and it's so easy, especially in the social media age, to kind of fill in the gaps You know, people share with you online the bits that they want to share. This is why I got to the point where I was like, with online dating, I need to meet someone straight away because I know that I have a tendency to fill in those gaps with exactly what I want. You know, be like, I find this person attractive. They'll kind of say, oh yeah, I like video games. And suddenly it's like, I fill in every single other gap until it's the perfect person. I'll be chatting to him for like 3 weeks or whatever. And I'll be like, I'm obsessed with this guy. I'm in love with this guy. And it's like, and then you meet them and it's either not the same or they just ghost you and then you feel bereft. Like, I feel like I've had multiple kind of mini heartbreaks in my life just because I've like built up this fantasy about somebody on online dating and then it's never gone anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So you have to kind of protect yourself from that. And this is something that she seems to be really going through. She's like, what am I doing? You know, I haven't even met this person. Maybe I need to write a song about this. Oh no, wait, I kind of have in a roundabout way. My song Boyfriend is kind of very much like, I'm not aware that I'm falling for the fantasy in that song, but you can hear it, you know? Anyway, listen to my music, man. But I'm actually invested. Think I really want this. I'm not even kidding. No, I'm actually invested. I haven't even met yet. Wish that I was kidding. I love the way she's put this. Yeah. Right, let's go on to the next one. This is Blowing Smoke. Nice chords.
I cut the rope and you fell from the tower.
So far, sonically, this album is reminding me of Folklore, which is on the back, coincidentally. Acoustic cross with kind of indie electronica.
Taking off your shoes, she's lying down.
Nice.
Prettier than she was on the internet.
Yeah.
Tell me if she takes you far enough away from all. I know everything they don't.
Wow.
I sleep alone, I'm completely fine.
There's such a sense of loneliness in this album so far. Like, everything seems to be the perspective of her on her phone, basically. Alone, obsessed.
You still let her in any crowd. Tell me, is she prettier than she was on the internet? I know what you are, brighter than the stars.
So moving on with somebody new and she's kind of seeing hints of it, you know, but she's like, I know the truth about you. But she's jealous, really, isn't she? You can hear it.
And I find your books.
Ooh, nice.
At the time they fed the fantasy. I was so
Fantasy, online fantasies, yeah.
And you knew my last love let me down.
I love this like little breakdown moment.
Be sleeping, but tell me, is she prettier than
I'm really enjoying the vibe of this album so far. It kind of feels really tight and succinct kind of version of like folk indie pop music, you know? Nice. Love that guitar solo. A little bit in the background, you know? Ooh, I loved that. That was brilliant. Just loved the energy of it. Like this kind of, you could feel this like element of like jealousy piercing through the song, like this anxious feeling of like being helpless as well. Like watching somebody that you once fell for move on with somebody else and almost like feeling like, oh yeah, I'm going to warn you, blah, blah, blah. Like he's a piece of shit, but actually you're kind of jealous that he's moving on, really, truly, you know? Yeah. I just loved the production in that. Like it really felt like cozy, but at the same time had this kind of like driving energy to it. I loved when like the soft kind of thumpy kick drum kind of came in and like really added to that warmth. And I loved that those like crystalline kind of electric guitars just kind of came in on either side and just kind of like added this extra layer. Really nicely, succinctly written and produced stuff. That's my favourite one so far. I cut the rope and you fell from the tower. I let it go for my peace of mind. Bit the bullet, it didn't hurt. I still hate the image of you kissing her. That's really setting up that like she has given up on this guy, bit the bullet and broken up with this person, even though it was really difficult. But she's still not totally over it. She's still like, I hate the image of you kissing her still. Even though I let go, I made that decision, you know. Tell me, is she prettier than she was on the internet? Are your conversations cool? Like, are you even interested? I know what you are, brighter than the stars. Tell me if she takes you far enough away from all the baggage you've been carrying, up another hill to all the girls who'll help you bury it. Oh my God, they're just blowing smoke. I'll say what they won't. I know everything they don't. Yeah, so she's like, you've got so much baggage and all you're doing is just passing it on to the next one. And these poor innocent people don't know the truth about you. and are going to help you do it. Post relationship, she's like, you fucked me and you're already like moving on with this other person, and like they don't know how much of a shithead you are. But the very fact that she's still writing a song about it and is still obsessed with it shows that she is not over him totally. You know? Yeah, it's really, like, I really like it. I quite like her lyrical way of, it's almost like stream of consciousness, but like with quirky kind of metaphors and references and stuff. Yeah, I really enjoy the metaphor of like carrying the baggage up the hill and the girls helping him bury his baggage, because clearly he's never actually going to sort through it and sort it out for himself. You know, it's really quite a damning indictment of this person, but very visceral in the way that like it's quite a short kind of metaphor, but like really tells you all you need to know about this guy's character. I know everything they don't. I know. Yeah, it's like this kind of obsessive, like doesn't have anywhere else to put this energy. Like, I know about him. I know it. You know, it's like really cool. I really like this. Yeah. Let's go on to the next one. This is I Love You, I'm Sorry.
2 August ago, I told the truth. Oh, you're in your Benz.
Why is everyone talking about being in a Mercedes Benz? Like, it's just such a thing.
People you train for, you mean well but aim low. That's just the way life goes. It's about me. I love you, I'm sorry.
Love it.
Been talking but not all.
This is such a cozy album. I really enjoy the vibes of it, you know. It's cohesive as well, you know.
Wistfully lean out my window and watch the sunset on the lake. But it's okay.
Might not feel real, but it's okay. Love the strings.
Best, but you were the worst. As sick as it sounds, I loved you first. I was a
oof. What a bridge. Love that bridge. Oh my god, so good. The pace of that. Oh shit, I accidentally skipped. No. Just listen to this bit again. Yeah. I loved that. Like the build up, like the pace of that middle eight is so good. Oh, I love that. It's such a simple phrase as well. I love you, I'm sorry, you know.
I love you, I'm sorry.
Oof, ending on a non-resolution. Love it. Really beautiful. Honestly, a brilliant middle eight. That is a Taylor Swift-esque level middle eight. So I went to see the Eras concert. I know Gracie was a secret song on the Sunday at Wembley. I went on the Friday at Wembley and I got the Taylor Swift Mega Bridge. And also Black Dog, and I lost my fucking mind. But the Mega Bridge was amazing. And like this bridge had a very like Taylor-esque bridge. It's almost like the whole song is living for the bridge. The whole song is just building to get to the bridge. And I love a song that focuses on a bridge. A bridge is your opportunity to surprise the listener. And this one, you know, we've kind of got this like slightly kind of laid back kind of waltz feel, but going into the bridge, it builds up into this place where it's like suddenly the melody is it's like so much more intense, and it's so satisfying because it breaks through this kind of like more laid back ambient kind of feeling in such a satisfying way, and builds into the final chorus and gives that final chorus a framing as well. You know, really, really nicely written song. Because yeah, on top of that bridge, like just the simplicity of I love you, I'm sorry, and how much that hides, you know, within that line. Like there's so much depth within such a simple lyric. The fact that you're sorry for loving somebody really tells you so much. 2 Augusts ago, I told the truth, but you didn't like it. You went home. You're in your Benz. What is this obsessed with Mercedes Benz? It's fucking rich kids. Yeah, like in it, like dating somebody in a fucking Benz. I'm like all relatable, and I'm like, back in your Nissan Micra, back in your Polo, back in your no, back in your Renault Clio. That's what my lyric would be. That's just the way life goes. I like to slam doors closed. Trust me, I know it's always about me. I love you, I'm sorry. I'll be on a boat, you're on a plane going somewhere same, and I'll have a drink, wistfully leaning out my window and watch the sunset on the lake. I might not feel real, but it's okay. Oh, I love this like fantasy that she's building up. That's like 2 years ago, I told this person I loved him and he left. I'm still thinking about it now, but I have hope that in 2 summers in the future, I'll be able to let go of this and actually be, and I love this beautiful image of being on a boat, like leaning out the window and looking at the sunset and being able to appreciate life again. Because the album so far feels very inside. Maybe it's like a pandemic thing. because it feels like she's obsessively in her bedroom on her phone all the time. In this thing, she's like dreaming of like a future where she can go out and enjoy nature, the real world, you know. I push my luck, it shows. Thankful you don't send someone to kill me. I love you, I'm sorry. It's like she's saying like all this stuff, like I'm still obsessed with you, I'm still in love with you, and I'm sorry because I know that we ended it, you know. I want to speak in code. I hope that I won't make it about me. I love you, I'm sorry. So there's this sense of her being apologetic for the way that she feels like she's making it about herself all the time, you know? Yeah, I really like that. I really, really like that. Next one. This is Us with Taylor. Let's go.
I know you know, it felt just like a joke. I see her through the smoke. She'll play her show and always ends up in ruins. Babylon lovers hanging lifetimes on a vine. Do you miss my eyes?
Nice.
I felt it, you held it.
I love the kind of gang vocal style. Lovely melody.
The secret of us.
Love it.
Something holy like souls bleeding slow.
Ooh.
And if history's clear, the flames always end up in ashes.
Hey.
Babylon lovers hanging missed calls on the line.
Oh. Babylon lovers some beautiful little individual lyrics there. I love the different layers of all the vocals coming in this like cacophony of different moments, you know. Oof. Here we go with another bridge that mixes it up. Oh, great. Oh. Oh, beautiful. This is beautiful. I love this. This is the secret of us. Oh, love it. I love this like unexpectedly epic build-up. Really nice. I love that. That was brilliant. It's kind of unexpectedly epic. There's so much kind of intimacy in this album so far. So much kind of that folky acoustic guitar, finger-picked vibe. But then for this one to like switch it up and to kind of like take it into a really epic place with like a vocal melody that really kind of switches it up with all these different vocals coming in. So satisfyingly nicely done, and had like this kind of hugeness that reminds me of like Out of the Woods and stuff like that, you know, really kind of was giving me that kind of energy. It was really good. This is such a lovely album. Like I really just enjoy the beauty within it and the listenability and the coziness. Yeah, with some really lovely metaphors and lyrics and stuff going on as well. I know you know, it felt just like a joke. I show you don't, and now we're talking. I know your ghost, I see her through the smoke. And if history's clear, someone always ends up in ruins, and what seemed like fate becomes what the hell was I doing? Babylon lovers hanging lifetimes on a vine. Do you miss mine? Do you miss us? I love this like idea that like we all have dating histories, the different people we've connected with through our lives. And we move on, we have romances, we change each other's lives and we move on. Kind of leaves this like interconnected web of like history. And Gracie's now finding herself part of that history, and she's wondering, did it affect you? Did it have that effect on you? Or have you just been able to just move on with no caring, you know? Yeah, it's a really interesting feeling to like dig into. You're 29 years old. How could you be so cold when I open up my home? Is 29 old? 29 is fucking immature, babes, especially if you're talking straight boys. Babylon lovers hanging missed calls on the line. I love this, like the metaphor, like the hanging on the vine, hanging on the line, like missed chords and memories. It's just beautifully like multi-layered like lyrics and stuff. That night you were talking false prophets, and profits they make in the margins of poetry sonnets. That is so, it's so Taylor. I mean, I'm sure that Gracie was part of this lyric writing, but like the double layered meanings within those connected things are so good. Robert Bly on my nightstand, gifts from you, how ironic. The curse or a miracle, hearse or an oracle, you're incomparable. Fuck, it was chemical. So beautifully like tangled. Yeah, that's something that like Taylor really got into on the Folklore album as well, and Evermore too. Using rhyming schemes and assonance and words that are said the same but mean different things, to connect different lyrics to different metaphors and to give it this tangled kind of feeling. It just is so satisfying to me, and I just love that style. And it kind of rebuilds up the energy as well. Love it. Oh my God, so good. Okay, next one. This is Let It Happen.
No, I know. I've got a history of being in control. I had a backbone made of glass and then it broke.
A backbone made of glass. Yeah.
I've never craved. I'd bet all my money that I will lose to you and hand you my life.
Oof. She loves these slow dynamic builds. I'm really into it.
Just for you, I let it happen. I lack context, so I've made up all these lies.
I lack context, so I've made up all these lies. Oh my God, like such a knowing thing, you know, filling in the gaps like we were saying, you know.
Here's to hoping you're worth all my time. Something tragic, just for you, I let it happen.
Yeah. It's like this idea of like looking at yourself and realizing that you had no backbone, you had no strength in prevailing winds, you know.
I'm reeling and I'm right.
Oof, that's chord.
It's whatever, but I could die.
Ugh.
Feelings, I'm still reeling, but it's fine.
God, her bridges are fucking brilliant. Oh God, it's gonna be chills. I love this. Beautiful. I love where this has gone. Like,
Barely know you, but still don't love you yet, but probably will. You're still hoping you're worth all the time.
ugh.
I let it happen.
Wow. It's like this idea of realizing that you have really low self-confidence and will allow yourself to be molded by anybody for the promise of love. It's like such a relatable fucking feeling. Thankfully, something I've managed to grow out of, but like I really relate to that, you know, this like I would debase myself. I would change myself. I would allow to like lose a sense of self just to be able to find this thing that I'm dreaming of. I'm obsessed with this fantasy and I'm willing to give all of myself for the glimmer of a chance that it might happen, you know? But yeah, it's really incredible. I love the way that she has connected that, you know, through the lyric in a way that just feels really well thought out and really direct and really like she truly understands this feeling and is like being able to relay it to the listener in such a clear way. It's really, really good. Like I love the way that song built as well. Felt like it started out really low key, but by the time you get to that middle eight, it really just like felt like she was letting it all out, like roaring, you know. It was gorgeous. Now I know I'm a walking contradiction and it shows. Got a history of being in control. I'm aware I could end up here alone, but then we spoke. I had a backbone made of glass and then it broke. Now I stay up and I waited by the phone. She's like, it's like I'm tragic. I'm tragic. That all my money that I will lose to you and hand you my life. Here's to hoping you're worth all my time. You know, it's like, well, I hope so. Do you know what I mean? Like, I barely know you, but still don't love you yet, but probably will. Turn me into something tragic just for you. I'll let it happen. God, it's just such a relatable feeling. I can't even, but it's fine. Because I can tell that I'm projecting half the time. I lack context, so I've made up all these lies. It's about falling for the fantasy, like we were saying earlier on. Like, you fill in all the gaps to be what you want it to be, and you'll sit there in denial, believing it is what you want it to be, when in fact it's not, and actually you've debased yourself, you've changed yourself for this person. Fuck. You've turned all my skies to pouring rain, locked me out the house again. Is this how you see me? Now I'm reeling and I might break the windows, let myself back in. Lost it for a minute there, get my shit together, it's whatever. But I could die, knowing that you're probably out somewhere while I'm in my underwear, eating through my feelings. I'm still reeling, but it's fine. Oh my God, I love that. Oh my God. I'll spare you from everything if you would still have me. I'll be waiting all my life. Just beautiful. Like the way that she's, I think that's my favorite one so far. I keep saying that, but I loved I Love You, I'm Sorry as well. And Blowing Smoke and Us. Like, oh my God. Okay. Beautiful. Love it. Incredible. Next song, Tough Love.
I took a train to he's gone. I'm 24 and it's a Saturday night. Honestly, whatever, he's just one of the boys.
So now we're going into more of like the electro indie vibe. I love like the pace in all of her vocals and rhythms and stuff.
So I'm leaving. I laughed the second he tried to call my bluff. No chance, I waste my 20s on random men. Not one of them is no word, I'm leaving. Walking by the river.
Love it. Oh,
It's kind of tempting just to see if you float.
my God.
She liked to tell the truth and she was harsh but direct. She had that effect, but that's
Just the pace of the rhythm of the vocals and the delivery of it is just so beautiful. I love it.
I laughed the second he couldn't guess what I'd be leaving for. No,
Oh, love it. I now know what I'm leaving for. It's great.
I'm not gonna
Nice.
He kicked me in my bed while sleeping. And I'm not gonna miss denying that I
Ah, this is almost like a dance song. Love it. Oh, just so, like, her music is so well put together. It just feels so, like, succinct and, like, to the point. I think, like, if I were being cynical, sonically, you can hear that she's very much in the same kind of category as, like, Boy Genius, as, like, Taylor when she did Folklore, as that kind of cohort. But, like, I feel like to say that would be taking away from how well the songs are written, and every single song is hitting that mark. Like, there is not a skip, as they say, as the kids say. She's not just bunging in every song. She's like, this is the best of the best to put on this album. You know, it feels edited. I took a train to Boston and I wanted to cry. He's gone, I'm 24 and it's a Saturday night. I ran and took his jacket with a rip in his side. I hate it when we fight. It sucks when we fight. But honestly, whatever, he's just one of the boys I'll date for like a summer and I'll leave when I'm bored. The train is full of strangers, but I might like him more. And that's just tough love, but I mean it, really mean it. I'm not charmed, so I'm leaving. I laughed the second he tried to call my bluff. Guess it's always funny until it's not. It feels like she's starting to date new people and realising all the kind of charm and whatever that she used to fall for when she was a bit younger. She's not falling for it anymore. And she's like suddenly like, actually, maybe all these randos on the train on the way back from the date, I feel like I'd actually like them more than I like this person. It feels like a moment of like growing up and starting to kind of understand yourself in the context of a relationship, you know. And I know now what I'm leaving for. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not leaving just because like someone else has made the decision. I know what I want. And so I'm leaving for something that's better than this, you know. I really love the feeling of like growing up in this song. But that's just tough love. And you're lucky to receive it, right? He'll crumble to pieces. I laughed the second he tried to call my bluff. So just talk about giving somebody else tough love, receiving tough love, having been through lots of tough love and what she's learned from that, you know? I'm not going to miss the way he kicked me in bed while sleeping. I might do that to my brother a little bit. Whoops. I'm not going to miss his shitty friends. I really like the idea of her like learning and moving on. Yeah, knowing it's tough, but pushing through it anyway. I'm loving this album. This is totally a vibe. As much as it's not reinventing the wheel, it's doing this style of music like really brilliantly well. This is I Knew It, I Know You.
I swear to God, I haven't thought of you in ages. I've loved and lost, I've let the rain in. And I changed the plans I had to, baby. And all I did was
Nice.
I know you, I called it. I've waited on apologies, and I'm not sorry.
There's a feeling of burying the hatchet, moving on in this. I'm not sorry. Finally standing up for herself a bit, you know.
I cheered the loudest for you when you won your trophy. The noise is loud, it's how you stand there. Don't you know the deal now? Well, I just can't, and we don't.
She's like, I'm not going to give you that anymore, you know. I had to do what I had to do. Nice. Again, bridges.
Good talk, we could get it. Calm down.
Ooh,
And I told
love that switch up.
the wrong idea about me. You don't know how to step outside.
Feels like she's finally processing this person, understanding them, and giving herself a sense of power from understanding his faults, you know. Gorgeous. Love how light this is. Lovely. Ooh, lovely. Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, really feels like we've got a nice progression in this album. And now we're moving on to her really starting to find a bit of closure, moving on a bit more, I think. Being able to bury those old feelings, being able to process them, you know. I swear to God, I haven't thought of you in ages. I've lived a lot, I've loved and lost. I let the rain in. I love that. I let the rain in, like, just been open to everything. I'm pretty sure, I've heard you've never faced it. I understand, I changed your plans, I had to. And all I did was right by me. I heard that almost killed you. Well, I knew it, I know you, I called it. And I think that you earnestly have waited on apologies, but I can't pretend that I'm sorry when I'm not sorry. Yeah. So she still kind of does feel sadness for what they lost. I think ultimately she knows that he wasn't good for her, and she's truly understanding that now. And like, I think he would have been happy to just like walk all over her and just like stay in this relationship where she had no autonomy and was just kind of basically just doing everything for him. You know, she actually had the courage to say no, even though it hurt. And now she's kind of looking back with a bit of melancholy, but also like a strength in understanding the fact that actually, no, she's not sorry for what she did. You might still be waiting for that apology and you might still be waiting for that closure, but tough shit. Like, you have to learn to move on your own, you know, because I'm not going to debase myself again just to make you feel better. All I ever did was consider you until all I could do was consider me. I was your entertainment from a dark place. You don't know how to step outside yourself. It's not my fault you can't sit with the hard thing. So this person is obviously like struggling at being alone. And like, whilst she's like very self-aware and trying to get through her emotions, she's aware that he's like looking for somebody else to try and fix it for him. She's like, I'm not going to be that person. It's not my fault that you can't sit alone and with your own thoughts. Like, maybe you need to learn to do that too. Next one. Gave you, I gave you, I. Gave you, I gave you, I. Okay, cool. Very 80s synth.
Gave you my best days, gave you the deep pain, I gave you, I gave you.
Yeah, it's like, how much did I give you?
But I'm just so embarrassed now. You did all that I wouldn't do it. I held my head, I
Gorgeous.
told you I can't lie and claim confused when I felt used. Now I'm all sad about it.
I like the full kind of warm Juno, potentially, synth that's filling it out, but then with little hints of acoustic stuff over the top. It's a nice combo.
And you nearly told
It's something I love about the mixing of synths and real instruments, you know.
you went off running away from something. We're racing time around us. Now I'll walk around us.
Thinking back to the idea of us, you know, the secret of us, but finding the truth, you know. It's like revealing the secrets of our relationship in order to process it, you know.
Was I just to fill the hole inside you?
Wow.
Help myself not call you.
Feels like this is like the going cold turkey. It hurts. It pains me to do this, but I'm pushing through it anyway, you know?
Walk around us. I'm all sad about it.
Yeah, again, more like processing and understanding like who she was in this relationship, and understanding that this person had a hole inside himself, has like this kind of chip on his shoulder, this inability to look inward, and was using her to make him feel better about it. And now she understands her place within that relationship. She can kind of let go, because although it's really painful to understand, she knows that he was only using her and she was never more than that to him, unfortunately. Yeah, I really love this, like, this progression. You're my worst time, you were the shoreline. Gave you my best days, gave you the deep pain. Gave you, I gave you, I gave you. It's like, how much did I give you, you know? Am I what you wanted? Was I self-appointed? I slowly moved into your house. All of my dark blue covered it for you. But I'm just so embarrassed now. So the way in which she changed herself for that relationship, yeah. And you did all that I wouldn't do, erasing lines around us. I held my head. I used to hold you. Now, I love that. But now I walk around us. I can't lie and claim confused when I know just what happened. You got bored and I felt used, and now I'm more sad about it. It's like really reducing it to its bare factors. You know, would it have killed you to explain that you weren't ready? And you nearly told me, and still I gave you my honest commitment. I sat and listened. I was on your floorboard holding it down. You went off running away from something that I have nothing to do with now. So yeah, it's truly piecing through the relationship and understanding that like he was running from something. He was not understanding himself. He clearly wasn't ready for a full-on relationship. And she kind of knew those things, but went with it anyway. And that kind of sense of like denial is so present in these relationships where you want it to be something and you're willing to deny the truth of the situation because of this glimmer of hope of what it could be, you know? And this fantasy that you've built for yourself within this relationship. And she's now unpiecing it all and actually realizing that she kind of knew the truth all along, that it was a fantasy and it never was what she wanted it to be. Okay, next one. This is Normal Thing.
It's a normal thing to fall in love with movie stars. And the story you want is the story you get. Was this all scripted in his head?
Oh, I love reference to like the relationship being like a movie, being fake, being scripted.
Saw your face not long ago.
I like the pace here.
The beginning of our love affair. No, there's more than that feeling.
Oh, okay.
I know I'll see you again.
Love this like movement. It's like breaking out of the sadness and kind of pushing through it, you know.
Underwhelmed. Notice everything so you're not different. I was impressed with
I love this. It's so cool. It's kind of threatening to go off, but isn't quite, you know. Almost like the party's happening in a different room.
see you again. You'll make me cry when it comes to an end.
You'll make me cry when it comes to an end. I love this idea that she's connecting falling in love with a movie star to this fantasy, you know.
Change my life, but I guess I'll see ya.
Almost like each relationship you have is like a movie that's got a limited amount of time, and you'll be able to replay it in your head, but you have to be able to move on, you know. What an unexpected vibe. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, like it was so unexpected. I thought it was going to be more of a moody, like continuing this kind of moody vein that we've been for the last couple of songs. But this one really broke out of that feeling with this feeling of hope that was represented in these like quite pacey drums. Didn't ever go into a full blast celebration, but it kind of represents, I think, like a breaking point, like a moving on point, you know. This, she's threatening to be free, you know, like it feels like this is like I'm moving on, and the drums and everything represented that, you know. I don't know, but I guess I'll see you. It's like, it does feel like, you know, see you later, bye, I'm moving on type thing, you know. Is it a normal thing to fall in love with movie stars? It's a normal thing. When the lights are low and red at all their favourite bars, and the story you want is the story you get. My God, are you special, or was this all scripted in his head? Like, really just so nicely done. Like, of course you fell in love with him. The lights were low. He was telling you exactly what you wanted. Yeah, the story you want is the story you get, you know. And I love how that connects to the movie. Like, you'll get out of a movie what you want to get out of it, you know. I remember when I saw your face not long ago. I was on my couch. You were on my screen. One of us was stoned. And the plot line was rare. Swear I felt you were right there. Maybe that was the beginning of our love affair. I love like him being on her screen, phone screen, TV screen, movie screen, you know, all these kind of connections to like online dating, seeing people online through the screen, but then also it being connected to the falling over the movie star, you know. It's a normal thing for me to become underwhelmed, but I get the point. I see it all. You're something else. Like, I'm not falling for your movie anymore, you know. I really, really love the way that she's threaded the needle on this metaphor. It's so good. I practice speeches in private. Even that, like speeches at movies and Oscars and whatever. I was impressed with my every line. I think we call that performing. You changed my life, but I guess I'll see you. Oh, just so brilliant. That super, super clever, like metaphors and little references to different things connecting to movies and connecting to her relationship and the way it almost was like a movie-like romance that was destined to end, you know, in tragedy in the end, you know. Next thing, this is Good Luck, Charlie.
You keep a picture of Audrey inside of your wallet. Bartender thought she was dead.
Okay.
You nearly lost it.
Huh.
Watched it go over his head. It all comes down to you. Good luck, Charlie.
It's terrible and it shows how much of a millennial I am, but I just think of like, Charlie. No, stop it, Dan.
Playing in the lakes in the sky. Feel her everywhere. She is the love of your life.
So I'm totally lost in this one. Like, I've really drifted into it, you know. It really takes a place of like having moved on, you know, maturity to like be able to say like, good luck to somebody you've had this kind of love affair with, you know.
I hope happy.
Be able to say I hope you're happy just really feels like such a kind of like we've moved on from where we were earlier, you know. Like I really love the way that narratively this album is like unpacking this relationship and moving through it, you know. Sonically, I feel like the pace is like dragged a little bit towards the end of this album. Like maybe it could use a bit more editing. It felt like the beginning of the album felt much more edited and this one's been a little bit more open. But that's probably the only criticism I would really have, you know. You keep a picture of Audrey inside your wallet, went for a drink and the bartender thought she was dead. He made you live out that nightmare and you nearly lost it. You made a joke and you watched it go over his head. Now it all comes down to you. It all comes down to you. Good luck, Charlie. I hope you're happy. Now when you fly over Michigan, I bet you see her right on the wing of the plane in the lakes in the sky. But you feel her everywhere. She's the love of your life. Because this isn't what you wanted. You know that it's her or nothing. Good luck, Charlie. I hope you're happy. I wonder whether like this is like somebody that she used to date who was dating somebody and then that partner died. Because it's a bit cuts like that moment with the bartender seems to cut a bit close to the bone, you know. I hope that you manage to find happiness even though you're still going to be like dreaming of her, seeing her on the wing of the plane, seeing her everywhere because you feel like you need her. Like, I wonder. Be interested to let me know what you think about that. I love hearing everybody's interpretations in the comments of all these different songs because I might be completely wildly off. But yeah, let's go on to the penultimate song. This is Free Now.
This isn't what you want. It's only how you feel. But I think I get your deal. I finally know better than to wait for you back here.
I love the quietness in this album.
2 months, only 2 to raise them. How we tried to play those parts. And then you shut it off. It hurts sometimes.
Ooh, nice that. I love that.
I can imagine when you go home. Does she follow? How does pain taste when it melts into your tongue?
Wow. Ooh. Okay, we're going somewhere now, aren't we?
It's a pain that it caught you at a bad time. You were straight up with me. You were so kind. Honey, great minds.
I knew what you knew, honey, great minds. Oh, so good.
Hope you find somewhere safe for your baggage. Every page I was scared of till you made me love it. Be here, we could share a lifeline. And less empty, all I feel is free now.
All I feel is free now. Oh, wow. Really feels like that middle section was like letting go of all the demons, just like freeing them from your body, feeling empty and being able to like feel free, you know.
It's free now.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I really love the feeling of freedom that she created within that song. Like this kind of conversational thing between them and then the understanding and the processing leading to let it all out and then like just an open chorus of like, I feel free now. I really like that. This isn't what you want. It's only how you feel. See that shows maturity at this point, doesn't it? You know, it's not truly what you want. It's just what you feel right now, you know? You openly admit you're far away from healing. I hate to pull the plug, but I think I get your deal. I finally know better than to wait for you back here. Almost loved you, but I didn't. I could laugh now, how we tried to play those parts. I swear that I'm not mad at you, but I can't share your bed now. So it's almost like the feeling that like he's like trying to get back in with her, and she's like, I'm free of this. And I can't imagine when you go home, does she follow you like an echo, like your shadow? You can try, but you can't run from the truth of what you both made, that you blew up on a Tuesday. How does pain taste when it melts into your tongue? Wow. It's a pain that I caught you at a bad time. It's a shame that I memorized your outline. I love all this like ghostly imagery, the outline, you know, like feeling that he's maybe being haunted by mistakes that he made, you know. You were straight up with me. You were so kind, but I knew what you knew, honey, great minds. It was harsh because I lost what I wanted. I was brave when I kissed you in London. Americans love London, don't they? We're inside London. I'm like, oof, it's a shithole. If you find yourself out, there is a right time. Chances are being we could share a lifeline. She feels like a sense of freedom having let go of it, but she's kind of saying maybe in the future I might be able to actually be a friend for you now that I feel like I understand it and I'm out of this place, you know. If you feel like falling, catch me on the way down. Like, I will be there for you. Yeah. And that really does show a development and a maturity, doesn't it? You know, I really love that element of it. Like, totally. I love the way that she's like created this like narrative from start to finish of like her changing perspective and emotional maturing, you know. Right. Before we go on to the final song, this is a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you everybody over on Patreon who supports me. Make it possible for me to make as much content as I do and to live my life as a creative with only a part-time job to support me. London, it's expensive. If you want to join the crew and become part of the Patreon, then you can do. You will get all my videos with no cuts in any of it. And in the upper tiers, you can actually request reactions from me. I've got a bit of a queue on the album tip. I'm trying to find ways to work through it. Yes, but you can also request songs and artist reactions too. And then all those videos end up on the Patreon for everybody to enjoy. So there's bonus content as well. Also, you get access to the video version of my podcast and you get to be part of the whole crew. It's great. If you want to get involved in Patreon, the link is in the description for you, and in the top comment probably as well. Right, okay, let's go on to the final song. This is Close to You.
I don't got a single problem with provocative.
I don't have a single problem, Gracie. Grandma.
Under pink light in June.
I love the kind of glitchy thing here.
Burn for you.
Nice. Nice. God, this feels like almost like an 80s style pop song. This is very Lover vibe for me. If we're going to continue with the Taylor Swift comparisons, as in the album Lover. Feels like maybe this is a new love affair, like completely free of the old person.
Every dotted line. You could be mine tonight.
Oh, so I think this might actually be a hookup, right? Maybe now she's finally let go of this previous relationship. She's free to kind of explore her sexuality in a more like open kind of way and kind of really just enjoy herself before she jumps back into something serious. If she ever wants to jump back into something serious again, you know? You've got me overnight, you know, let's just live within this moment and actually celebrate the fantasy of a one night stand. Like, she's been making fantasies within her love life, believing in the fantasy of like what it could have been in an unhealthy, toxic way. But this feels like a fantasy, but in a short term moment, you know, which can be freeing.
Close to you.
A really jubilant kind of end. Sonically feels slightly jarring because this is much poppier than everything we've had so far. There was literally no acoustic guitar. Maybe this is her like saying this is the end of the album and this is a hint of where I'm going to go next, you know? Maybe that's kind of the idea. But yeah, I really do like the feeling, like emotionally, the joy within that final song does have a feeling of finale to it, you know? See the bodies, how they burn. It's just the way it is. Smoky, dark, crowded room. I need nothing under pink light in June. I was so cool, but then all of a sudden, you saw me look at you. I burned for you, and you don't even know my name. I want to be close to you. Break my heart and start a fight. You got me overnight. Let me be close to you. She's really in a club, seeing somebody. She's like, fuck your heart. and I want to just have this fantasy moment, one night stand, and I want to just enjoy myself with no strings, with nothing holding me down, just being free. And that really does feel like that's the story of the album, is her being able to free herself from the trauma of this past toxic relationship and allow herself to kind of move into freedom in independence and free to be herself and to sleep around and to have these exciting times and to have these fantasy moments and live within it for the moment and just like enjoy herself, you know? It really feels like freedom. Overall, like this album does feel so well considered and mostly nicely edited. I feel like the story feels very well edited. It feels like she's really positioned songs in a way on the album so that when you do listen to it from start to finish, you get this development in her emotional maturity. You get her moving on from this person and you get a developing sense of freedom that seems to be kind of like under the surface, but then breaks out towards these last couple of songs. It's like clearly very nicely pieced together, this album, in that way. I do think that like stylistically, it's not necessarily giving me anything unique. I mean, there are so many kind of indie folk pop girlies out there doing like acoustic guitar with effects and synths and stuff. It's not necessarily breaking out of that mold, but I think within that mold, she has written some really, really nicely done songs. Each one feels very just nicely put together, really well put together, really thoughtfully put together. And there's no kind of haphazard feeling in this album. There's no kind of just dumping everything on the page. It feels like I really appreciate the way that every single song feels considered and nicely put together. There are a couple of songs that I feel like it does start to get a little bit towards the end. I'm at the pace. I'm like, let's move on a little bit. But like, I do think everything does feel really nicely, thoughtfully put together. And I really appreciate that. Love it. Okay. My favorite song on the album, I think I'm going to have to give it to, is it Let It Happen? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say my favorite song on the album is Let It Happen. I just felt like I really loved the pace of it, the surprise of it, the bridge. And also I just really connected to that one, like emotionally, you know? Yeah, let me know what your top 5 songs are in the comments. Thank you for joining me for this reaction. If you want to check out all of my Taylor Swift reactions, they are here. If you want to check out my Chapel Roan reaction, it's here.